Hello, Ron Gerber of AngelBeat. I'm so excited to have Maulik from Recorded Future here, one of the top cybersecurity experts at one of the top cybersecurity firms. So I wanted to do this little fireside chat, at least in a virtual way, just so everyone could get insights in between AngelBeat events on how do you go about protecting your infrastructure. Maybe Maulik, maybe as a starting point, how'd you come up with the name Recorded Future? Like I get AngelBeat, at AngelBeat, I get asked the same question. I tell people, well, we used to do a lot of writing for the New York Times on security, so that was my beat, and we used to help startups identify sources of capital, so we help them get angel investing. And then I said, Angel and Beat, okay, it's a nice sounding name. Plus, when they're listed alphabetically at trade shows, it's A, so it's always at the top. So how'd you come up with Recorded Future?
So our CEO, Christopher Alberg, came up with the name 10 plus years ago, and it really came from the idea that we could use data at some point in time to predict what would happen in the future. Very early on, Recorded Future was actually a company looking at how financial markets may swing in the future, focused specifically on identifying trends going on in the internet sphere and how that can be applied to the financial marketplace. As time went on, we realized that our technology was much more suited for the cybersphere, and we actually attached ourselves and pivoted to that sort of side of things around the 2014 timeframe. And then from there, we've kind of seen exploded growth because we were able to really hone in our machine learning and our AI in order to really attack those specific use cases in the industry.
One of the things that I see a lot of at our AngelBeat programs is individuals always looking for ways to cut down the detailed, drudgerous work of compiling data, trying to come up with consistent formats to analyze insights from AWS, from Google, from Microsoft, from government agencies. How does Recorded Futures help security and IT executives make sense of the world when there's so much out there so they can focus on actions, not data collection?
Absolutely. So we really do the collection and the analysis as part of the intelligence lifecycle for our clients. We're out there scraping from thousands and thousands, around 1 million plus different places at this point, where we can pull in that data and use our machine learning to actually identify what is happening in particular blocks of text. And by doing that, we're able to provide our machine the information that it needs to determine risk around particular things. So whether that is determining risk around an IP or a domain, those are all things that we can do from an automated fashion given our data sources. And through that, we're actually able to give our clients specific things to look at, whether that's from a brand perspective or whether that's from a security operations perspective. Both of those buckets are things that we actually cover.
Interesting. Do you have any examples? I don't want to necessarily reveal any specific company's name, but do you have insights that people in the AngelBeat community can sort of hang their hat on that shows, okay, what did this mean to a company, let's say in banking or government, something like that you can share in a little more detailed fashion, that approach and how it benefited your client?
Sure, absolutely. So one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is reducing mean time to response for the SOC, for example. So when you have a bunch of data coming in for a financial services company into a centralized or managed SOC, one of the things that a lot of those places are graded on for their metrics is how quickly can you turn an alert into an action. We at Recorded Future are able to take our data and pump it into the SIMs and the SOARs of the world so that we can take those technologies and increase their own efficiencies. In that way, we're able to take the mean time to response down for the average SOC analyst by being able to do enrichment around what they're already seeing today, while at the same time reducing false positive noise that they were getting from all of their other external tools by correlating it and creating notable events or alerts with our data. Now, at the same time, these SOC operations are often asked to do a multitude of different things, not just focus in on the single pane of glass that might be the SIM, for example, but they're also asked to focus in on the brand side of things. Where exactly are we or our brand being attacked? So that could be from typo squats, that could be from your brand being mentioned on the dark web. Those are all things that require actions as part of a security operations center. And through Recorded Future and through our ability to gather this data, not only from the dark web, but also from a variety of different technical sources, we're able to take that data and slice and dice it in meaningful ways that apply it directly to our clients and send them an alert when things that matter to them are being talked about or being discovered.
One of the interesting things is reflecting on some of the attendees is the broad-based capabilities you have. One of the things I always like to emphasize at Angel Bee, this we're so excited to have Recorded Future part of our shows, is we want all of our attendees' organizations to be more secure, more flexible, but we also want all the individuals who attend our programs to quite honestly advance in their careers. And I would imagine there are a fair number of people who, when they can take advantage of Recorded Future, they're not only protecting what I might call traditional security initiatives. How do I stop password threats? How do I make sure that we are ensuring that malware and ransomware doesn't happen? But the broader, more strategic issues that not only affect the CIO and the CFO and the CEO, it's the VP of Sales and Marketing. And most people may not think, well, I'm in security. Why do I care who's writing bad reports about my company or posting some unsubstantiated reputation evaluation on Yelp or one of the other sites? But it's critically important for the company's overall security reputation, both on security sites as well as in the business sector. And imagine a lot of your clients really benefit from that because their visibility is much higher. Suddenly you have potentially have like a security analyst who's now advising the VP of Sales and Marketing on what the VP of Sales and Marketing needs to do to be aware of these things to make sure his or her brand is protected. I would bet that would be exciting for people. It's, again, helps them in their career, gives them broader exposure, because you don't want to be the person who's simply patching desktops every Tuesday.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that's come up with a variety of my clients where they get these asks from the CIO or the CISO or coming down from the board directly even saying, hey, what is going on with this particular cyber event or particular criminal group? We've been approached by the government and they tell us to be aware of these particular threats in the cyber threat landscape today. What does that mean for us? And that's something that Recorded Future can really help our clients answer. For example, if we're looking at ransomware today, that being an extremely hot topic, one of the things that's really important is to be able to communicate the technical findings of ransomware to upper levels of management who may not be as technical. So one of the things that we do at Recorded Future is for a lot of these different ransomware groups that are out there, not only for the malware itself, but also from the groups behind them, we write up reports that are consumable by these individuals. And at the same time, within those reports and within our technical intelligence cards, our attempt at a single pane of glass for these things, we also include technical indicators, for example, for our clients to be able to go back in their environment and start looking for instances of that kind of traffic within their own environment today. And that can come in the form of technical packages like Sigma rules, for example, which are an open source way to be able to query different SIMs. So you can say, hey, I want to look for these sorts of processes being stood up across all of our network. And if that ever pops up, let me know about it. And those are rules that we actually help our clients develop.
That's great. It's such a rapidly changing world. I'll tell you a funny story, and I'm still floored by this. So I got some random email where someone heard about our ransomware prevention webinars. And someone literally said to me, they said, Gerber, they just didn't know my first name. They're sending this. Can you do a webinar for us for the dark web for people? And I still don't know if this is legitimate or not. I don't know if it's maybe like an Angel Bee competitor trying to get me to say something silly or whatnot. But they said, can you do a webinar for us on the dark web where we can like pay you in Bitcoin, and because we want to showcase our ransomware as a service offering for dark web criminals? Because isn't it like the most bizarre scenario that, when you think about it though, can happen in today's world, where that's how the hackers think. They literally, I've seen, a couple of people at our Angel Beat seminar saying, oh yeah, you don't need to be a hardcore ransomware programmer to launch a ransomware attack. And I said, obviously, we at Angel Beat saying, no, that's not our business. We're not in the business of promoting. We're in the business of helping people stop ransomware, not promote it. So I didn't even respond, but that's just, I think, indicative of how serious and widespread the threat landscape is. And the other thing, I don't know if it comes up a lot, I hear from a lot of Angel Beat attendees, they are just completely tormented, I guess is maybe too harsh a word, but they can't find all the IT security people they would ideally need. They're in such high demand by so many entities. And one of the things the CIOs tell me is, Ron, who are the best companies that I need to deal with? Because I know I need to provide that service to my organization, but I can't do it myself. Where should I look? And who's got the right SOC? Or what are the companies like Recorded Futures who can complement all of my internal staff? Does that come up a lot?
All the time. All the time. Every single company that I've talked to has a problem with hiring as of this point. There's just not enough people for the amount of jobs that are out there. And then with that, there really is a specialty that's needed between some people. Threat intelligence, for example, is a specialty among some people. And again, that's why companies like Recorded Future exist, is so that a lot of individuals or companies rather, can use Recorded Future and as a third party almost to bring that expertise inside the house. When we're spending millions of dollars creating our product and making it consumable for the end user, a lot of our clients would rather go to us and say, hey, give us what you know about threat intelligence, rather than hiring someone internally to build out a program, for example.
Sure. And I think, somewhat analogously, if you look at what the AWS, the Googles, the Microsoft Azures are doing from a pure network system infrastructure standpoint, they're taking over those roles, and they can do it much more cost effectively and much better than trying to run your own data center. And I think in a similar sense, trying to build your own security practice, if you're a small or mid-sized firm, or even some of the larger firms still need to complement their expertise. They're saying it's just not cost effective to try and duplicate the efforts that a Recorded Future can do. Plus, you gain the benefit of having experts like yourself deal with all industries across the globe, and you get a lot more learning than you would get from just having a single employee look at only your issues.
Exactly, and I can give you a great example of this. When I started off my career, one of the things I did was become a government contractor through one of the big four companies, and I was working on site at a government organization at that point in time, and my entire job was kind of focused in around the dark web, doing kind of a threat profile around specific things. Now, one of the reasons why I came to Recorded Future, I wasn't looking for a new job or anything else like that, and I had an opportunity to actually see Recorded Future in action, and what I saw blew me away, because they were able to do something, and this was 3 years ago at this point, where they were able to centralize information around this particular target that I was looking into. I was able to get information about that particular target in a matter of minutes that instead took me a week plus to be able to compile manually.
And who knows, even if you'd be able to do it as accurately or as thoroughly as Recorded Future can do in minutes.
Exactly. So I was able to see that work had just gone away. And that's where I saw a future in Recorded Future, to be honest, where I could say, hey, for anybody else who's in my shoes right now, we can do 10x the amount of work because we're able to take and automate so much of that process and give it to you on a silver
and plus, you can leverage your own personnel and infrastructure cost across a number of organizations who can share those costs, and conversely, those same organizations that can help fund all of your efforts also make your efforts more effective because you're crossing industries and geographies as well.
Correct. Exactly.
Got it. So this is fascinating. So hopefully out there in the Angel Bee community say, wow, this is good stuff. I need this for my career. Maybe I want to join Maulik and his team out there, or maybe I definitely need to bring him inside. What's the next steps? How do they go about meeting with you, getting a trial, having you evaluate their current systems? What's the next thing they should do?
A couple different things. Get in contact with me is the probably easiest way. My email is maulik@recordedfuture.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn as well. If you want a demo of Recorded Future or want to check us out, go to our website. There's a great big request demo function there that'll pass you on over to the right resources for your company. But feel free to reach out at any point in time. Happy to help with whatever may be going on.
You can also just check us out at Angel Beat if you're looking to attend a future event, or just the hashtag Angel Beat. What's the hashtag for Recorded Future? I'm assuming it's just Recorded Future.
That's my assumption as well.
Yeah, okay. We could check that afterwards, but I assume that's the case too. So we've got all that. So I appreciate your time. I think this is very insightful. The key takeaway is whether or not these small Angel Beat one-on-one sessions or large events, we're always trying to put you in front of the right people and the right companies to help your organization become more secure, more flexible, and to help you in your career. And I feel very confident in promoting Recorded Future because, quite honestly, they're going to have more security expertise than you as an individual can have because of their scale and their expertise. And I think they're going to make it easier for you. And the final thing is, when people get those demos or they call you in, I am assuming, but I'd like you to confirm this, that you can make sure that your solution is a nice complement, because there are other tools in place that sort of do similar things, like you got your security incident and event management platform that sort of does it, and maybe your firewall generates alerts. So maybe just comment in closing how Recorded Future's platform can fairly seamlessly integrate with things you already have. So the last thing anyone wants is more administrative hassle. They just want to get information easily to take steps that enable them to eliminate tedious tasks. If you could talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, with Recorded Future, our job is to try to make yours easier with the processes that you currently have today in the tools that you are currently using. We have an API that's extremely flexible, just built off of a RESTful architecture, and we have pre-built integrations into a variety of different security tools, whether that's SIEMs, SOARs, ticketing solutions, and the rest. You can actually find a whole list of them on the Recorded Future website under integrations. And our goal here really is to try to make things easier, right, at the end of the day. There's nothing more annoying than having another security tool come in and destroy whatever process that you have in place. We'd much rather be the solution that fills in the cracks among the different security tools that are out there today. And that's really how security intelligence functions, or supposed to be able to function, is connecting all of those dots and connecting all of those tools together.
Great. Well, I can just tell you, all the Angel Beat attendees who hear about Recorded Future, use them. You never find out about them in the headlines. And I'm sure, even though you can't say this on the record, I am sure that Maulik and his colleagues get lots of calls from companies who are in the headlines the next day saying, I know we should have listened to you. We didn't. We're in trouble. You got to help us out. I have no doubt that you've gotten a couple of calls like that in the last few years.
Can't say yes or no, but
well,
I can use your imagination with that one.
Yeah, we'll leave that up. Anyhow, thanks so much. We're going to end this webinar. Make sure this little interview, make sure you check out Recorded Future and other industry leaders are at Angel Beat events. Go to recordedfuture.com, angelbeat.com. We'll make sure we set you up with the individuals like Maulik or any of his other team members to get you set up with that demo. All right. Thanks very much, and stay healthy, and excited that we are pretty much at the beginning of the end of the pandemic, or maybe even the middle of the end of the pandemic, depending on how the Delta variant is in your environment. And we'll look forward to seeing you at some virtual events this summer and hopefully a live event this fall. All right. Thank you very much, Maulik.
Thanks, Ron.
Okay. Bye-bye now.